Uh, Good morning, guys. Today our topic is Maxwell's bridge. Actually, there is two bridges. One is Maxwell induction bridge, and another is Maxwell inductance capacitance bridge. Look here, we have applied some capacitance, and uh, in this bridge, this is a AC bridge. Now we are going to dealing with the AC bridge. Whenever we applied some AC, then they have some resonance condition, they have some frequency related issues. Okay, so here this is the unknown inductance. Here it is the unknown inductance, uh, and with this unknown inductance there is also a unknown resistance, because all inductance have some resistance also. So this is unknown resistance also given here, that is Rx. Okay, and unknown resistance means this resistance is coming from this unknown on inductance. Okay, and the opposite arm you can see there is a variable resistance R1 and the fixed capacitor C1. Okay, so from this circuit we can see we can determine a value of inductance, hence, and depending on the value of capacitance. Okay, and this variable resistance. This is the main thing why we are doing this, because if we apply a pure inductance bridge, and there is another bridge is there, a Maxwell inductance bridge, then what happens? This uh, uh, there is also inductance, and here is also inductance in this bridge. Okay, so what happens there? A possibilities of mutual inductance is there. So, but here only one inductance is there, so there is no chances of mutual inductance, maybe positive, maybe negative, whatever maybe it is not there. So that's why this bridge is much advantageous. And now we have to know how it is work and what is the working principle, and then we will go for the how to draw a phasor diagram. Okay, uh, then after then we will do all the phasor diagram of each and every bridges. This is the main very important things of how to draw phasor diagram, because in this bridge this is not a straight line circuit, a linear straight, that's why we became puzzled when we are going to draw the phasor diagram. But if we know some fundamental rules, then we can find it out easily. Now from this circuit you can see there is a we are going to look. This is A, this is A. I am going to colored. This is A, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is C, and this is D. Okay, and now we can find out from this circuit, we can see that A and B, where A and B, BC, and this CD, AB, BC, and CD, and DA are the four arms connected in the rhombus shape. Okay, this is the bridge condition. In this case, we can see these are the AB and BC, sorry, DC are the purely resistive. But in this case, you can see this is a BC is a series combination. BC is a series combination of resistance and inductance, that is LX and the RX. Okay, this is the unknown. And this DA is parallel combination of resistor and the capacitor. Okay, this is the C1, this is the R1, but R1 is variable. Well, we can change it. Now, for the calculation, we can find that is Z1, and that is Z1 that is that is Z1, that is Z2, Z3, and that is Z4. Sorry, that is Z4 and that is Z3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, because R3 is there. Now we can find this is the impedance. Z means impedance. This is Z1. Okay, so we can find out the impedance. Impedance means there is a there may be purely resistive impedance, then it may be reactive, okay, inductive, anyone. So we can find out one by one what is the uh, actual impedance of this Z1, Z2, Z3, and Z4. Now we can surely we can find out that is Z, this Z1 is R1 J omega. Okay, J omega, and this is J 1 by J omega C. Just like this, R1, sorry, here Z1 is R1 plus 1 by J omega and C, that is C1. Okay, and you can find it that if the bridge come to the stable position, or the detector has no deflection, then only happen this impedance and this impedance ends should be equal. Okay, uh, and now we can found that a Z2 is easily, that is Z2 is the R2, and Z3 is the R3, and Z4 or the ZX equal to whatever you can say ZX or Z4, that is R4 plus J omega LX. So these arms and these arms are equal. So impedance of Z1 and Z4 are the equal. Okay, so R in Z now, so Z1 is the R1 parallel with C, that is Y, or we can say okay, we are writing this Z1 equal to this, and Z2 is, we know that Z2 is the R2, uh, Z3 is the R3, and Z4, or you may say ZX, whatever may be denoted in the R4 or the RX. Here it is R4. Okay, you can see that is R4. R4 plus J omega L, and this is LX or whatever. This is a normal simple equation. And in another way, we can say this, the Z1 equal to R1 in, and this R1 is parallel with the C1. So we can say Y1 equal to 1 by Z1. Y means in admittance. Y means admittance. 1 by Z1. This is impedance, this is admittance. Okay, so Y1 we can see, this is Y1 means that is 1 by R1 plus J omega C1. Okay, and normally Z2 is the R2, no, Z3 is the R3. In this way, and ZX is the RX parallel with the sorry, series with the Z. Look, this is Z4 or the ZX is this inductance is parallel with this RX. Okay, so we can see that is parallel with the LX. So we can write this is same way. Okay, LX or image series. Now if this bridge became balanced, if I think you all have performed the lab, or maybe in next lab you can perform. If we vary this R1 and this R3, look, there is nothing is variable, okay, except these two, R3, R1 and R3. Only if we vary this, then at a time, at a certain time, you can see that the detector became at a null position. I think you have performed so many lab in virtual laboratory regarding this bridge. I think how you have realized the thing. How could I reach that zero or the null position? Okay, and whenever we can get the null position or the zero deflection position, then our bridge becomes stable. Okay, and at that moment what happens, z1 zx, look, z1 into zx equal to z2 into z3. Say we can write here, we can write here, we can write here in this case, at the balance, at the balance, z1, this is the this is the rules, z1 into zx, or you can say z, that is z4, whatever maybe you have kept, you have to write zx or z4, then opposite arm. Okay, then z2 and z3, look, opposite two arms and opposite two arms. Okay, then z2 and z3. Okay, look, in this case, inductance and capacitance also unchanged, and in this case, only R is varying. So we have to adjust this R so that this multiplication R2 and R3 became the equal with the this impedance, means Z1 and the Z4. Okay, in this condition, we can easily find out this this Z4 or ZX, Z4 or ZX, and it is equal to Z2 by Z3 by Z1. Okay, so it is find it, and now in this way we can also find the ILX and RX. Just put this value. We, if we put that ZX equal to here, that is R4 R4 plus or RX, whatever you may, R4 and J omega, that is L, that is X. LX means unknown. I am not writing this. Just do it. Then it will come R2, R3, because Z2, Z3. Now it is multiplied with 1 by R1 R1 plus okay, and this is coming, this is 1 by R1 plus J omega C. J omega C became upper side. Okay, and now it is given, sorry, now it is given, that is, just put here, I am writing this, just giving this star marks and giving this star marks. Look here, it is coming Rx or R4, whatever maybe you can say, that is this, just put J omega L1 or sorry, Lx or L normal L, whatever may be. Now look, it is coming, that is R2 R3 R3 by R1 plus J omega C C1 or C normal C. Okay, and now equate the real and the imaginary part. Just equate the real and the imaginary part. So you can see, you can find the real part is, you can find the real part is just impedance. This is the real part, this is the real part, and what is the imaginary part? This is the imaginary part, this is the imaginary part, and this is the imaginary part. So from this equating, real part and imaginary part, that is R1 first, where real part, that is R, sorry, R4 equal to R2 into R3 divided by R1. Okay, this is the real part, and imaginary part is, that is J omega L or the Lx equal to J a omega C, in this way. Okay, so we can find, and sorry, here is another part is there, here is another part is there, J omega C1, and that is, it is also multiplied R2 and R3. So it is coming J omega, I am just erase it. We can write here J omega C, sorry, here J omega L, J omega L equal to this one, J omega C1 into R2 and R3. This is the value. So we all know this. If this part is nullified, then L equal to C1 R2 and R3. So this part is known to us, this part is known to us, only the R3 is varying, only the R3 value is changing. So if I put this, then we can find, then we can found out, that is the L. Okay, in this way we can find out the L value, and the R value, R is also unknown, R is the R2 into R3 by R1. In this way we can find out a unknown value of an inductance and a unknown value of the resistance of this inductance. Now another point is there, what is the quality factor? The quality factor of this bridge is, means, uh, this is the how much energy can store in this inductance. This is called quality factor, and this quality factor you can find out. I just erase this, all of this. Now quality factor is just this is called Q equal to W, sorry, omega into Lx or L, whatever you can see, or say, that is by the Rx, means this the omega Lx per resistance. Okay, now we can write omega Lx equal to omega C1, C1, I am putting the value of L1, okay, C1 R2 into R3 and divided, and this is the value of this, and we have to write the value of also, that is by R I by Rx, means just opposite. It will change, that is R1 into R2 by R3. This is the quality factor. So once you get this value of this capacitance R2, R3, R1, then you can find also the storage factor or the quality factor of this inductance. This is also achieved. Now we have to find out the we have to write the phasor diagram, or we have to find out the phasor diagram. So there is some basic rules to draw any phasor diagram. Okay, so first of all we have to know this. Then we can go for phasor diagram. Look, first we are writing the phasor of inductance. Look, here is the inductance, here is an inductance, here is an inductance that is connected with AC source. Now what will be the phasor of this? Look, if I go for the phasor, just this is the axis. Look, this is V, this is V, okay, and and as it is lagging, inductance means lagging, so it will start, look, just like this. Okay, in this way the phasor diagram is passing away. Okay, so this is I is sometimes lagging, so it is lagging over volt. Always we are putting some voltage as a reference, that is 90 degree. Okay, if I draw the phasor diagram of a capacitance, look what happens. What happens? Okay, this is a capacitance, say voltage in reference, voltage in reference. Then what happens? Then capacitance is leading. So it will the 90 degree started over here. Okay. So if it is voltage, then current is this is V and this is I. So I is leading by 90 degree over voltage. Okay, so if I put, now we are and we all know, if there is a resistance, then then phasor is just like this, V and I. This is for the resistance. Okay, but now if we go for the complication, then we are getting one resistance, one inductance. What happens? So what will be the phasor? The first phasor diagram, this is called the phasor diagram. Then this is coming, and this is V. Okay, V, and this is for the I. I is angle of phi. That is I. That is V. Just see the difference. If purely inductive, then 90 degree. But here is not purely inductive. There is some resistance. So here is the, due to resistance, current is just 0 degree resistance, and for inductance there is a 90 degree. So it is lies between 0 to 90, between 0 to 90. So it became lagging, but it is just like a 45 degree. Okay, but it is depending on the value of inductance. Okay, if inductive value is much high, then it is 9 tends to 90 degrees. If inductance value is much less, then it tends to overcome this position. Okay, and same way, if I draw this capacitance and resistance, then what will be the, okay, so here we can see that is the I, and that is the V, that is the I, and that is the V, that is phi. Okay, that is phi. This is the phasor. Now what happens if there is a inductance and capacitance both are present there? Just erase this. Okay, if there is a inductance and capacitance, both are present there. Look, inductance also there, capacitance also there. In this circuit, what happens? So this is C, this is L, and this is, look, this is what happens. This is IL, and this is IC. So if there is a I1 is there, then I1 is divided in two waves. One is IL and another is IC. And again it is merged and it is coming, that is I1. Okay. And what will be the phasor diagram? Look, first we have to draw the VM, or the voltage, because voltage is the reference over here. So voltage, so if we do for the I, if we go for the I, that is IC, that is leading, and here another, and this is IL. Okay, this is 90 degree and 90 degree. But what happens? Sometimes it is, actually, if it is a resonance condition, if it is resonance condition, so what happens? First of all, it is try to come in phase, because somewhat it is going to upper side, somewhere it is going to lower side. But if this is not uh, not in phase, not in resonance condition, then sometimes M's current will be abrupt way. Okay, that's why in this condition the resonance condition is there. Sometimes it is going upper side, sometimes going to the lower side. So normal frequency, in the normal frequency, it is not, uh, it is achieve much higher frequency. क्योंकि whenever it is going to rise, then inductance pulling it. Whenever inductance pulling it, after few seconds, and capacitor will pulling this. So what happens? This is became so resonance condition. This is became a resonance condition. And now if we get the R, L, and C. Look here, no R is there. So here we get R. This is L, and if we put some C, over here, so what happens? It will looks like this 90-degree. Look, this is the 90-degree for the C, because look here the difference, within this C there is no resistance is there. There is no resistance. So C is totally free. It will going to 90-degree. Okay, it is going to 90-degree. IC means IC current is 90-degree, and inductance is coupled with the resistance. So inductance providing the phasor diagram just like this. IL. Okay. In this way, the phasor diagram is differentiating. And now we can find what is the phi. Phi is the cos phi. We can say that is the R by Z, and this is phi is cos inverse cos inverse R by Z. Now, if I go for the phasor diagram for the both case where the resistances both are there, guys, you can just notice this. This is the one by one, step by step phasor diagram is how to draw phasor diagram. There is it is very important, and I think very you can't find this how to draw this phasor diagram, not available everywhere. It is available also Kesawani books. You can, if you go for all this, then you can find R. This is R. Then what will be the phasor diagram? Please tell me, anyone, please tell me. I think you got the idea. Look, if R is with the inductance, then it will not perfectly 90-degree. And so if R is with the capacitance, then also it will not perfectly 90-degree. So what happens? Then it will happen, create some angle, not pure perfectly 90-degree angle, just like this, just like this. This is VM, this is IC and IL, and what will be the resultant I? Resultant I will be just going to in this way. In this way, this is the I. Okay, look here you can see, here you can see the difference of phasor diagram, how it is differentiating. So one by one you can find out the how to draw the phasor diagram. Now if we go for here, you can find one V is common is there, then one by one we are putting E1 E2 here is say here is the E1, that is the potential, and over here is the E2, here is the E3, and here is the E4. So potential are same whenever. So E1 into E4 and E2 into E3. So in this way we can find out the phasor diagram one by one. Okay, then we can draw one by one. Then we get the phasor diagram of this bridge. So somewhere phasor diagram, it is asked draw the phasor diagram in your exam, so university exam. Then it is very much important how to draw a phasor diagram. Then you can easily draw any phasor diagram. Okay, so guys, if you have any question, you may ask me. And now only 5 minutes are left, and now I think Dev sir's class will start. DKT sir's class will start. Guys, have you any question?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. I am going to stop here. Okay.